We have defined a lifestyle, but we have not figured how to fund that lifestyle without having to work for money.
Wow.
For me, the foundation for going to school, reading hard, is that you should be able to think about how to define a desired lifestyle for you, and how you're going to fund that lifestyle without depending on your employer to fund it.
Wow.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Stella Kigutanganga, and welcome to the Kingdom Connect show, where we connect kingdom marketplace leaders to you, and where we speak about faith, about purpose, about business, and about making a difference in our communities. Join us on all our social media platforms, click and subscribe, and join us for interesting, exciting, insightful, and impactful episodes. So, Coach, I can tell you have a passion for numbers. So let's talk about how wealth creation is looking like from generation to generation. When we were talking to Coach Stanko, we had 3 generations in this room. So if you look at our parents and ourselves and then our children, are we getting richer or are we getting poorer?
Well, Stella, I'll not say we are as badly off as we were during the time of our parents, and probably the socialization of our parents. You know, we say necessity is the mother of invention. What our parents went through was real hard times. There was no wealth, and so they had to really work so hard to get us even to school, and hence that socialization of go to school, read hard, whatever. But then we became parents ourselves, and we socialized our children not to work. We don't want them to go through what we went through.
Right.
So I am working myself day and night so that my children can afford a comfortable life. And the talk amongst the parents of my generation is, or used to be, until we have been given what they are calling character development by how our children have turned out. Our language was, I never want my children to go through what I went through. And so our children have grown up knowing that my parents have worked, my parents are wealthy, my parents, even if not really wealth in the real terms of the word, we've shown our parents, our children, everything they want is there. So I'll say the generation of our children, they lived in what we can call comfort, not really wealth. They lived in comfort. Whatever they wanted, it was available.
Correct.
Because we worked very hard as parents. But now there's another generation that is rising, of now the children of our children.
Right.
And that generation is now not liking the way our children turned out. And they're working really, really hard to change course as far as wealth is concerned. So if you ask me, I'll say, in terms of awareness, we have a lot of awareness when it comes to wealth creation. But when it comes to the practical bit, the doing bit so that I can be wealthy, that we don't have. So you'll find, like in my generation and the generation of our children, we have attended so many financial training courses, we have attended so many financial literacy classes, but what we do is we just collect that information and we pilot.
True.
We do not now go to implement. So you will encounter somebody who is of my generation, my children's generation, and they have a lot of knowledge about how to make wealth, but they are not practicing how to make wealth. So I don't know where you would place that now in terms of figuring out, are we wealthier or are we not much more wealthier? In terms of knowledge, I'd say yes, we are wealthier.
Yes.
In terms of real tangible wealth, the one the Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children.
Yes.
We are not yet there. Completely, we are not yet there. And probably I'd like the viewers of the Kingdom Connect show to tell us who is watching us or listening to us and can confidently say that as a parent, I have figured out practically how my children's children, you know,
Yes.
my responsibility as a parent is actually not even my children, it's my children's children who can say confidently, I have figured out how they shall live, how they shall fund a desired lifestyle without having to work for money. So there's quite a bit for us to do, but it is in terms of dusting the knowledge that we have been gathering and actually now taking the practical steps.
So from what I've heard is that a program that you have and that you run, and you'll tell us more about it, what it's called and what it does.
Yes.
That you truly emphasize on implementing. You know, the Bible talks about don't just be hearers of the word, you have to be a doer. And we say the word will work if you work it. So if you don't work the knowledge, then you know you don't progress. So tell us about your program, who it's targeted at, and why you feel that this kind of, you know, initiative is for such a time as this.
All right, so we run a program. I'm the founder of a company called Wealthy With You. And in that company, what we do is we hold conversations with individuals, with organizations, anyone that is interested in figuring out how to create wealth after you have defined what is wealth for yourself. You know, when that term wealth is thrown around, there's a connotation. There's a way we think that wealth is only for Akina Bill Gates. You can't start telling me about wealth and my salary is 20,000. How do I even put the two words together? You know, but we started by saying that wealth is figuring out a desired lifestyle and then going about figuring how to fund that desired lifestyle. So it doesn't have to be like those people up there. You define for yourself. So what we do at Wealthy With You is we empower people with practical steps that you can take. For example, when we tell you you have to budget, we want to make sure that you're actually budgeting. Even if it's only 300 shillings you're earning or making in a day, we want you to actually budget. And we give you the budgeting tools. And in that budget, in that 300,000, we want your commitment towards securing your desired lifestyle to be part of that budget. You see, ordinarily, when we receive money as Kenyans, we budget. And the first thing that we do is, of course, the tax is on top there. You never even see it because the government takes it away even before you see it. Then the next thing for those that are Christians is tithe. Then there's rent. Then there's education for your children if you have education, or upkeep, and all those other things. So whatever remains at the bottom there, that is what now you say, I am going to save. And by the way, I want to demystify something that normally we are told that Kenyans don't save. That's not true. Kenyans actually save. The only problem is that Kenyans save without a plan. I save because people save. I save because my parents told me when you start working, you must put some money aside. Why you are saving, you don't know. So you find you will save. When your account has got like 200,000, you start asking yourself, now what do I do with this 200,000? And you suddenly realize you haven't bought yourself a new sofa set. So you go and remove your savings, you come and buy a sofa set. That story in Aisha. So when we give you the practical tools at Wealthy With You for budgeting, we are saying you have discovered that for you to fund your desired lifestyle in another 10 years or in another 5 years, you will need to have an income that comes without you having to go to work of X amount of money. So now in your budget today, the 300 shillings, we want you to put aside something to purchase that income that you want to make. And so the next thing we shall do is we take you through an investment program. What are the investment opportunities available? And we ensure if you're saying I'm going to open a money market fund, then we make sure you open a money market fund and start contributing from your 300 shillings. You start setting aside. I mean, your future becomes a priority in your budget, the same way your rent is a priority in your budget.
So what
so
I'm
that is
hearing,
wealthy
you
with
said
you.
300. So most people think that you start investing when you have a lot of money. What you're saying is that even with 100 shillings, you
Yes.
can start somewhere. There's always somewhere to start.
You know what, Stella? Research shows that your needs and wants increase by 1.5 times more than your money every other time. So, for example, if your salary is 300 shillings,
Yes.
your needs and wants will be for something like 450 shillings. So, if you cannot prioritize your future when you're earning 300 shillings, then even when you're earning $1 million, you will never be able to save. Because when you are earning $1 million, your needs and wants will be what? For 1.5. You see? So that is what we teach people. That it is every shilling that comes into your hand, God has packaged inside that shilling food and seed. Now the choice is yours.
So the
whether
Bible
you want
said he
to
gives you seed for the sower,
Yes.
and bread for the eater.
Yes.
So you decide whether it's
You want to, everything is for you is food, or you
Right.
want to separate seed and food. Out of every 10 shillings that lands on your hands, you need to separate and say a certain percentage, we advocate 80% is what goes to food. And what is food? All your needs and wants.
Yes.
Your rent, your clothes, your everything goes to 80%. 20% must go towards purchasing that lifestyle that you want. And we take that from the word of God, the story of Joseph.
Right.
When Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream, he told Pharaoh that 1/5 of every harvest during the plentiful period must be put aside.
Yes.
So what is 1/5?
That's 20%.
It's 20%. Yes.
Wow. So I think when Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun, he was actually right. There's nothing new under the sun. I mean, Joseph was doing 20%.
Yes.
We didn't invent 20%.
No.
And you can do more if you can.
You can
right?
do more depending on the urgency
Right.
within which you want to attain your financial freedom, and depending on how much you can sacrifice your current lifestyle for purposes of purchasing a future lifestyle for yourself.
So we've had a lot, as we conclude our segment, we've had a lot of conversation about the wealth transfer that is happening, and
Yes.
that, the Isaiah 60 says, "Your gates shall be continually open to receive the wealth of nations." Of course, this wealth is not just being sent for us to, like you said, for seed and bread, but there's a bigger kingdom agenda that this money should be going towards.
Yes.
So if you can speak to our viewers, just talk to, number one, people who are, young. Like we said, we're reaching a multi-generational audience. So people who are young and they're just starting out, how can they begin to build their wealth? We have some who are maybe older, like their parents, who maybe because of redundancies or, the way the world has gone, maybe they don't have anything. They're almost starting from zero, like their children. And then those who have, are established, how do we keep our gates continually open so that we can bring in that wealth? We can, as they say, make money, multiply money and manage money.
So it's difficult, Stella, for me to expound on all that in a conversation like this one. But what I would do is to invite people to join the Kingdom Connect. We have a program that we are running with the Kingdom Connect called the 52 Weeks of Increased Income. Inside that program, we have tailored a practical training program for young people, for middle-aged, for old-aged. How to harness the power of what is the income that God has placed in your hands, whether it's kindogo income, whether it's a lot of income, and how are we going to multiply that collectively, because there's power in numbers. If the journey that will take me 20 years to do when I'm alone, if we all come together as kingdom-minded people and put our funds together, and that is what we are doing at in 52 weeks of increased income, is we are putting your little together, my little together, we put it together and we approach experts to show us how can we multiply this money so that ultimately it can get all of us out of this hole that all of us are in of, you know, lack of income. So what I can say is there's hope. Whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're old, there is hope. Join the increased income and let us work together. Let us pull our resources together and see what is it that we can do.
That's wonderful. And I like that, because that ends us on a beautiful note that there is hope. Even for a tree that has been cut, there is hope.
There is hope, yes.
So thank you so much, Coach Lucy Njine, for speaking to us today. We have really enjoyed learning from you about keeping our gates of wealth continually open, and actually just changing our mindset about how we see, you know, when you talked about seed for the sower and bread for the eater. So I would urge our audience not to eat everything. Please make sure that you separate it as the coach has ably advised us, and do make a point of checking out Coach Irene's page, where we talk about a lot on you know, the Kingdom Connect income classes, and you're welcome to join us, because, you know, like you said, one can put 1,000 to flight.
Yes, one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000.
10,000, and together we can chase legions. And so it's been such a pleasure and an honor to hear from you about how we can make money, and make money from any age and stage, how we can manage our money, and how we can multiply it. And when you talked about multiplying, you talked about, you know, your course that you offer in the program that you run, as well as Coach Irene. So if you could give us the handles where our viewers can reach you to talk to you about this, we'd appreciate that.
So thank you so much, Stella. It's been my joy and my pleasure to be at the Kingdom Connect show. We are on Facebook as Wealthy With You. We are on YouTube as Wealthy With You. I'm also on Facebook as Lucy Njine. We are also big on TikTok. We give a lot of free content about wealth creation and personal finance management. We welcome the viewers and the friends of the Kingdom Connect show to also follow us.
Fantastic. And as you look out Coach Lucy's pages, please make sure that you also check out the Kingdom Connect or TKC, or you can also look out for Coach Irene Morethi, whose pages are very vibrant and open. So you're welcome to join us and continue the conversation there. It's been such an honor to have you. Thank you so much for reminding us that it's never too late to create wealth. And if one of us can do it, then all of us can even make much more impact. Thank you everyone for joining us. And until our next episode, please keep chatting about making, managing, and multiplying your money. And until then, goodbye.
And this is what this show is about. You're gonna love it, because the narrative at some point must change. Thank you very much. We hope that you have enjoyed this session, and we do look forward to keep connecting with you as we bring more professionals so that we can keep having these candid conversations. Thank you.